there's 3 collections of Buddha's work, happened 3 times. The writing began only after third collection. That's also why Buddhologists will never say Buddha's works are collected works. They will say it's a Buddhist canon. It's not, Buddha didn't sit down. And so it is repeated. And out of some Buddhist memory, this time, that time, Buddha was sitting in certain place, and I and so many others are there. So what I recall is this. That is how, even the Heart Sutra would say, all those begins with that. So Tibetans consider the canon words are absolutely true, however interpretable. Like one of them says, your father and mother should be killed, you destroy your country and retinue, then you will be a great king. So, and if you, doesn't mean you should kill your father, doesn't mean you should kill your mother, doesn't mean destroy your country and the retinue. So that doesn't mean that. So that is what we call it interpretable. But interpretable. So when you interpret, then you know it's very guessing work. What is Buddha thinking then? And then there's, oh yeah, Buddha thinking ignorance when he said father should be killed. He was saying to kill the ignorance. And you like that, it becomes interpret. So the interpretation done by that is those great early Indian masters, and particularly Nagarjuna and Asanga, because Buddha himself prophesied, because these are the 2 right persons. This will appear at the right time, they will interpret the right way. So that's when we talk about the Mahayana Buddhism. Buddhism from the text, from the root text point of view, from the basis point of view, this is how we trace. And also the important thing is this. And these 2, Nagarjuna and Asanga, are known as Shingde Sunje in Tibetan, which is the forerunners. So the Buddhism, the Mahayana Buddhism, died in the land, that is India, and they reopened it. Not only the Mahayana Buddhism died in India, but even the Theravada Buddhism, which is left in India, is completely died in India during the Mughal period and all that, completely. So all the Indian teachings, whatever is valuable in India, they went to south of India, so went to the Sri Lanka, which is now known as Sri Lanka, then known as Ceylon, and Thailand and all that, southern Buddhism. Northern Buddhism went into the North Himalayas, and beyond that, Tibet, Mongolia, and China. That is how it went. So Southern Buddhism went to south, Northern Buddhism went to north, and the actual land, India doesn't have Buddhism at all. So only even the Buddha tree, the tree, what we go to Buddha Gaya today, we see that tree was not in India. They brought that one of the tree, some genetic thing from Thailand, no, from Ceylon, and brought back to India. And the monks are brought back from Ceylon in India. And then the Mahayana, Mahabodhi society was formed in India by bringing the monks from Ceylon. And so these are 1900s effects. So this is how Buddhism went. So you people are putting efforts, energy in the spiritual path, Tibetan Buddhism. So you have to know the background. It is a Mahayana Buddhism. That's when you talk about Mahayana, that's what we are talking about. Two great early Indian masters, Asanga and Nagarjuna, who are directly learning from Maitreya, the Buddha of compassion, and Manjushri, the Buddha of wisdom. Sort of normally in public in India, what they talk about is one is in heaven, one went under the water and then brought back. That is what it is, talks about it. But the reality is one picked it up from Manjushri, one picked it up from Asanga. So most of the wisdom and compassion lineages, if you look, it's always like Manjushri, Nagarjuna. Asanga, Maitreya Buddha, Asanga. And there's between that huge gap is not there. And that is the reason. Honestly, if you're really a historian who's going to research year by year, chronologically going to trace it. So that's what, and there's a huge gap missing. But that's what it is. But in the meanwhile, in between that, there's a lot of Indian Mahasiddhas or adapts. And so in between that, adapts like a Luiba or Gandhaba or Lalita Bajara, Amunga Bajara, Teloba, Naroba, and all of them is in between. So there's not really the year chronologically we can't trace. And I was thinking this morning, absolutely silly thought. Last night, last night I saw a moon, little bit of moon. I wasn't sure what day it is today. 7? 6? So the moon also looked like 7 or 6. So moon looked like 7 or 6. Whether it is 7 or 6, and I don't have my phone around with me. I don't have a calendar in here, and I was sitting on the throne. So looking at it, so maybe. So when I was sort of thinking, the lunar calendar people will really count, according to the lunar movement and how the stars move, how the moon moves, wherever the sun's going, directions, they set up that calendar, right? So our usual calendar is, you literally, truly count it day by day, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter whichever the first January, wherever it comes, but literally, practically count it, and then to make the years round, we do have, instead of 30 days, we have 31 days. And then if you have too much 31 days, it will be too much. So they decided to drop each in between each month, right? 30 days, September, April, June, and November. Rest of them 31. But then it becomes too inconvenient, right? If it's left. So the February came with the different. So very practical. So I really thought, and then nothing to do with the lunar calendar, nothing to do with the star movement, nothing to do with the sun movement, but absolutely practical. Just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's exactly, doesn't matter wherever the first number comes in. 306, whichever the first comes in, doesn't matter. Whether it's the summer or it's the winter, doesn't matter. It is the first of New Year Day. So I was thinking that, and then probably thought, so sort of people with the lunar calendar, so you have that gaps, a lot of gaps. Even historically, there's a huge gap. Like, I was just mentioning between the Asanga and the Maitreya, how much gap? But then, if you're going to fit between the Telopa, Naropa, Luiba, Dumebata, all of those, but who, where, how, wow, it's completely out of question. Way beyond anybody can do. So anyway, sort of then comes in some kind of a belief system. So believing in that. After a little while, your mind cannot trace, counting cannot trace, and then a little bit of believing, relying word, and we left it history like that. And then we just take it from here. So that's how it is. Here we are. That's what it is. So I thought I'll sort of talk to you that today so you know exactly what you're looking at. But then, historically, we may not be able to count like that, right? I mean, no one says you cannot count this. Everybody sort of presumed and left it. But the development of those individuals are total reality. It is not nothing made up, nothing fictitious, and it's a reality, really. And so that's how our practice, when we want to improve ourselves, and that's what it is. And as the material really works, and that these people have developed, and then that they're well-traveled. So one of the name for Buddha in the Tibetan, they say Tishin Shikpa. So well-traveled means well gone. Gone in the sense, it didn't mean they well died. It means the individual developed everything exactly what it is supposed to be, gain everything whatever. So you say Tishin Shikpa. So these are realities. That's all I'll say. So you know. Have a good weekend.